if you've made it through this video series so far, you've probably learned a couple things about your budget, your expenses, and your money. This week, we're going to show you how to track your expenses.
Uh-oh.
Are you squirting?
Are you squirting?
I heard that squeaking out
So
there.
did I. Can you look?
No, I'm not going to look.
Or is that just her bells?
Hey guys, it's Cory.
And Erica.
And Zoey.
Yay! Hey guys, so you have a budget, but you're not tracking where your money goes, and the budget's completely pointless. So in our eyes, and I think in a lot of financial gurus' eyes, tracking your budget is probably one of the most important things that you can do, because if you're not tracking where your money is going, how are you going to be able to cut back on your expenses or figure out what you have left over to put towards your debt, or you might not have anything left over without tracking your expenses. So we're going to kind of tell you exactly what we did to do that, our couple methods that we use.
Just to reiterate or explain even further from maybe my perspective of what Erica just went over, tracking your money, especially if you've just started a budget, you just started on this journey, you were never really watching where your money went previously, and now here you are watching this video series. I think tracking your money really shows you exactly how much you're spending on every single little thing throughout the day, throughout the week, and through the month. And so if you happen to be one of those people that spends money on a $5 coffee every day or maybe every other day, it's really nice to see how much all that adds up for your monthly budget.
It might actually be quite surprising. I know when we first started, some of the things that I was surprised at was specifically your spending habits. But he likes energy drinks, so and those are less than a $5 coffee from Starbucks, but $1.39 here, $2.29 there, like that really adds up. So you might first be shocked about it. You might hear other advice to start tracking before you even do a budget, but the reason that we suggest setting out your budget first and splitting it up into the categories is it kind of gives you a direction on how to track your spending. And then once you do a month or two of tracking your spending, then you can alter your budget. But by doing the budget first, it kind of creates those separate categories, because you should know kind of what you're spending your money on every month, so you're able to make those categories. But tracking will then show you how much you're actually spending in those categories. Another one that's quite surprising, and I think still catches us by surprise, is groceries.
Yeah.
Like, we can't seem to keep that one under control.
Yep, so even us, after all this experience we've been through, still have trouble with grocery shopping. That's definitely a big one. One other thing that Erica mentioned that I wanted to touch on too is you might not know exactly what to budget in your budget and what to look out for. You might be scared. You might not really know how much you need for each one of your categories that you want to spend throughout the month. And so don't be afraid to do that. Track your expenses, and then the next month and then the next month, you're going to get a lot better at seeing where you can cut back on things, and also how that's going to affect your budget overall for your monthly expenses.
So there's a few different applications or websites out there that allows you to track your money. We specifically use EveryDollar.com, and that is sponsored by Dave Ramsey and his company, and so that's why we chose that one. And I will be the first to admit we haven't tried the other ones, but EveryDollar works really well for us. There is a free and a paid version, but we don't need anything more than the free version. And if you're trying to get out of debt, who likes to pay for that kind of stuff anyway? So what I like about EveryDollar is it shows you in a pie graph how much you're actually allocating towards each category. And every time you make a transaction, you can go in and you type in that transaction under that specific category, whether it be your entertainment, your food budget, your household budget, your gas budget, and you manually go in and type in every single thing that you buy. Some people might find that monotonous or not keep up with it. Like, I know this guy struggles and sometimes will wait till the last day of the month with all of his receipts to put them in.
Yeah.
But it's really easy. We always have our phones on you. You check out at the gas station, you check out at the grocery store, open up the app, type it in, you're good to go.
Yeah, and Erica's jabbing at me a little bit, and sometimes I do forget. And what I would suggest for you guys is when you first start out, and we did, every single time when I was checking out, whether it was at the grocery store or wherever, I was typing that in as I was making the purchase, and that really made it easy to track every dollar and every single purchase that I made. And so now we've habitually gone through this for a few years, and so we pretty much kind of know what our spending habits are, and that we're over or under where we normally are, just kind of off the top of our heads. But I still have the cashier print out every single receipt, and so at the end of the month that I can be sure, and I track every single dollar. You know, and it's not really even at the end of the month, sometimes at the end of the day or the week, but we really still do track every single dollar to make sure that we can allocate all that we need to, because we're still budgeting our money for saving for a vehicle or our moving expenses when we're out of here and moving to California. And so we still have all these goals that we need to budget and track our money for.
There are a few other applications that I've heard of. There's You Need a Budget, there's Mint.com, and then there's the cash envelope system, which Dave Ramsey does teach you. We tried that, was not a fan of it. One, I hate carrying cash on me. Two, we use credit cards for rewards, and I know Dave Ramsey frowns upon credit cards, but I believe it comes down to knowing how you spend your money and what you have control over and have troubles with. Like, if you have problems with using credit cards for stuff that you don't need, then don't use credit cards to buy your stuff.
If you can't pay off your credit card every month, don't have one.
Exactly. If you can't control your spending, if you legitimately have spending issues, don't use a credit card. And the cash envelope might be the best one for you, because you budgeted $300 for groceries, you put that in the envelope. Every time you go to get groceries, you pull cash out of the envelope. You can keep all of your receipts in there, you keep your change in there. But for me, it was just really hard to, one, grab cash to go. And that was the biggest thing. I just didn't like to do it.
And just keep in mind, we're in a position now, but we've had all the experience of tracking stuff every single day and using the app and doing cash for things or money envelope type systems. And your trends and your things that you guys do on a daily basis is going to change over time. I mean, we are 3-4-ish years later after starting on our debt-free journey, finishing that, and now into another aspect of our lives. But you know, whatever works for you guys right now and whatever keeps you focused, I would choose one option. If that works for you, stick with it.
So, you know, I just thought of a great idea. So if you want us to experiment with Mint, You Need a Budget, and EveryDollar, and then do a video comparing all of them, give this video a heads up, and then we can do that and show you which truly we think is the best one, because I've heard great things about the other ones. I've just always been with EveryDollar. So go ahead. If you want us to do a review of those three, give this video a thumbs up, and we can make a video reviewing all of them and see which one we truly think is the best and easiest for everybody.
Definitely.
So once you've tracked your expenses for a few months, and do it for a few months before you legitimately set your budget in place. So you want to know kind of on average, I would say 3 months, and then you're going to adjust as you go. But then you're going to want to start evaluating what can you cut out. Like if you're finding yourself only having $100 left to put towards your debt, then you're going to have to start cutting expenses. So start looking at things and start looking what you can cut out. And you might be surprised where you see that, okay, you have a $200 eating out budget, and then you find that you're spending $400. Well, then you got to figure out how you're going to cut that out and how you're going to change your lifestyle so you can stick with that budget and have that extra money to put towards your debt. Other things that you can look into cutting out of your expenses is cable. Downgrade to Netflix or Hulu if you really need TV.
Yeah, it's $10. That's so much less than $100 for DirecTV or whatever.
And we're gonna do a video later talking about the 5 things that we cut out of our budget to help increase the amount of money we are putting towards our debt. So make sure you're subscribed to our channel if you're not already, so you don't miss that video, because it could give you some ideas on what you can cut out of your budget.
You know, and you can also hack on some of those things too for television and whatnot. You can have multiple accounts within one Netflix account for $10 a month. So if you got a family member, your mom and dad, brother, sister, wife, whatever, just you know, take their username and password, and you can also just use their stuff while you're trying to. But whatever. Y'all know what I mean.
We'll definitely make another video going into depth about the things that you can cut out and things that you can eliminate from your budget to help increase the amount of money you're putting towards your debt. But the goal here is to just start tracking your expenses. You're gonna have to make it a habit. It's not gonna, if you're haven't done it before, you're not gonna be able to just remember every day. So give yourself some leeway, give it a couple months, but definitely you're gonna have to track. If you're finding that you're living paycheck to paycheck and you don't have money at the end of the month, you need to figure out where your money's going and how you're gonna decrease some of those expenses.
Right. Yeah, and I think the reason why we say that is if you're watching this, you're probably not a naturally frugal person in the first place, like we weren't. You're probably just one of those people that spend a predominant amount of your paycheck every single month, and so you have to track your stuff. It's one of the most foundational things that'll get you started on the path to financial freedom or debt-freeness.
And the last thing that I just wanted to touch on, so at the end of every month, if you remember from my budgeting video, so I write the budget out on pen and paper, I type it up into EveryDollar. I also have an Excel document with it, and then at the end of the month, I total all the categories from my EveryDollar over into the Excel document, and I'm able to see how much money we actually spent and if it's equate to what our income is. So I would be lying if I said every month has been to the cent. We've had it perfect. It's been really hard here because of the conversion from euro to dollar, but it's not going to be perfect.
If you're within a reasonable amount, you're probably a lot closer than you were or would be if you were trying to do it in your head throughout the entire month.
So that's it. That's it for tracking your expenses. That is step 4 of getting out of debt. We have 2 more steps after this. We're going to touch on your emergency fund and then how to apply your money the best way to get out of debt the quickest for you. If you haven't seen the beginning of this video series, we'll link it up here. And I'll link all of them in the description box as well. I'll also link EveryDollar's website in the description box. And we'll catch you guys next time.
See ya.
Bye.